Yeah, we can move on. I have actual thoughts that are not for this platform on that.
Okay. Can't wait to hear those, Josh.
Josh's Spicy channel will have that information for you.
Not.
Let's go.
That's not what you
Whoa. Welcome to MTZBWY with you, America's most favorite Taylor Swift and TCG podcast. I'm, of course, joined by the Heartbreak Prince, Josh.
I don't get that one.
I don't either.
You guys do not love Princess Tay-Tay as much as I do. That's all that tells me.
That's fair.
I am also joined by the world's crankiest Pokemon YouTuber, Louis George. This one stays in. This one stays in. That's too perfect. That's too perfect. This one stays.
My kid's already up and crying. This is never going to work.
This is great. This is great. This is great content.
You live in the world's crankiest household.
Bring him onto the podcast.
Her, it's her, and
I think you said bring onto the podcast.
Bring
There's two, right?
Yeah, bring them
on.
onto the podcast.
No, that's not happening. All right, and we're joined by George, the world's greatest host of any podcast ever.
You know, George, if I didn't see you on this screen right now, I'd convinced you were complaining in Louis' house right now.
Just keep going.
All right, so we didn't introduce the topic, so I'll introduce the topics. Our first topic tonight will be Magic the Gathering, America's #1 TCG, largest, large and in charge. It's like the George of TCGs. We will then talk about some other game. I think it's Lorcana next. Where
the fact that he left the monitor for the screaming kids next to the microphone when he got
welcome to Kitchen Table, folks. Second, we're going to talk about the only podcast not to be sued by Upper Deck. This one right here, Upper Deck ain't taking my Lorcana. Then I believe we go to Sorcery, where those crazy Canucks got their maple syrup filled hands all over our boxes. And then we end with Arby's. You got the zoo. So, Josh,
that was pretty close. Listen,
I nailed it.
That wasn't bad. Touche, sir, especially for someone who definitely does not pay attention during the rundown. No. Yeah, I think that was pretty close.
I thought so, too. I was pretty proud of myself.
So we're kicking off today with Magic the Gathering, as you said, and the big topic on at least my mind is the Lord of the Rings bounty, which is now up to...
It's crazy.
Right? Listen, she doesn't like the bounty. She knows what happens when somebody overestimates the value of a box before it comes out on this podcast, and she's trying to stop us.
Okay, so let's talk about the bounties that have now come out. A bunch of nobodies put in offers like 100,000 to 150,000. Right, like there's 10,000 offers at that price,
and then one of them got ostracized and more than tripled it.
Really,
more than doubled it. Yeah, that's the $500,000 offer. Cassius Marsh, ex NFL player, or maybe current NFL player, might go back. I don't know the situation there, but put out the $150,000 bounty. Apparently, the community was like, "Nope, not big enough," and he goes, "Fine, 500,000." Boom. It was pretty funny.
Are we rolling?
And like. And part of what I was waiting for on the bounty was actually DA Card World. So DA Card World, for those of you not familiar, because clearly Louis wasn't based on that smirk. I love your beer, by the way.
I'm amazed that you know what DA Card World is.
It's sports, dum.
We're just amazed that you're here.
Yeah, bring your daughter on. She'd be a much better co-host.
Did we say what our bounty was going to be?
No, because our bounty is stupid. Because somebody already offered 4 times our bounty. This was
our bounty's better.
This was a dumb idea in the beginning of the week. It's a dumber idea now.
That's a great idea.
It wasn't
What's your bounty, Louis?
We were going to offer, I didn't tell you guys this, but on the podcast this week, we were going to make a $250,000 bounty because that's insanely low. And it was getting so much attention and hype, it would have been great for the podcast, which is why these people are doing these things. They're doing it for attention and hype. Think about how many people shared the bounties that were getting posted up front earlier. It's good stuff. But 1 million is a real bounty. That's what I was going to say. That's the conversation today.
Oh, that's what it takes to be a real bounty. $500,000 was a very real bounty.
Well, 500,000 was like my point of like it's not worth the risk, because then it's like who's going to come up, like what's the number that you sell it at then? Like if nobody comes out and beats a 500,000 bounty, then it's hard. And that's where I feel like about the $1 million bounty is like
So
there's not a bounty higher. There's not an offer higher than this. DA.
It just
okay.
It just came out today.
Two things.
It already came out.
First of all, DNA. They're known for their high bounties. They just bought some rookie prospect, 1 of 1 for 250,000, which they did a really cool thing with. You guys ready for this? They said you can get 250K cash money if you turn in the card for this 1 of 1 prospect, or you can wait, and if he makes the Hall of Fame, I'll give you $1 million.
That's cool.
And they took the 250K, which I think was very smart.
Yeah.
So shout out to that collector. So they're known for their kind of wild bounties. I am not sure this will be the highest bounty. I am not sure this card will not sell for more than $1 million.
Who beats DNA? That's my question.
Well,
That's
DNA.
not the question.
Yeah.
The question is like, do two collectors who have infinite money both want this card?
I see.
That's the question.
And who beats DNA? Like, listen, Post Malone could.
I get it.
Post Malone and a whale of Magic and Eric from Sorcery both want this card.
Right.
They can each pay more than $1 million.
Yeah.
So is DNA buying this as? So what's DNA buying this for then? That's the question. Are they buying this to flip it eventually, or are they buying this for the ad revenue and the attention and the?
I mean, listen, like it's clearly for all of the above.
Yeah.
I mean, like they're getting a lot of attention, and also like the best part about them is their check will clear, right? Like I love like these like random mom and pops where they're like, I'll pay $250. I'm like, cash that check first, son. Like it's like make sure you get a cashier's check. Do you take PayPal?
Like if we came up with a bounty,
friends and family, no notes.
I only take Ethereum. So like, oh no, I lost all my money. So like, I would, this is a real bounty. This check will clear.
Yes,
I don't represent them. I don't know them. Maybe their check won't clear. I would suspect it would. I think that this is wild because I think it means that somebody's going to pay more than $1 million for this card.
So there's certainly not a store that offers more. Do you think? Like what's?
Oh, I don't. But you ready for the hottest take?
Yeah,
I'm waiting for Star City.
You think Star City is going to put a
didn't they
bounty
do
on
it?
the One Ring?
Didn't they have another bounty? Didn't I see that?
Sure.
Or am I going crazy?
I didn't think they did.
It doesn't matter. Like they can always make it a real one.
Yeah, I didn't think I had seen one yet. I felt the same way you felt, George, when I saw Cassius Marsh come out with the 500. I was like, okay, real people with actual money that can pay these bounties are getting involved. Like,
yeah, and like, but Cassius is also a little bit for the popularity too. Like, I mean, he was the first one at the 150.
well, 100%. These people are subsidizing their cost, right?
He got roasted, and then he came out at 500,000.
Oh my god! Can I just say how much of a jerk you have to be to roast somebody for making a bounty of $100,000 for a piece of cardboard? Like, shame on anybody who roasted that dude because, like,
well, like the point was that it's low, and like everybody knew that. We talked about that on the podcast.
Like,
we've talked.
Listen,
about
you feel that way? Have you seen that man play football? Go say it to his face. I dare you.
Yeah.
Go see what happens. You know what? Let's record the podcast live where you insult Cassius Marsh. I'm in.
Listen. I'll do it.
God,
I'll do it.
God.
He's got a sack celebration that's a spinning roundhouse kick right to your face.
I will get roundhouse kicked by Cassius Marsh if he's on a podcast
for the content.
Yes, 100%. That's like not even that far. Like I would go way further for content. Let's be very, very clear.
Okay, here's the real question. How many shorts would you make out of getting kicked in the face by Cassius Marsh?
I would have 50 different cameras with 50
each frame is its own short.
Yeah, I'd
have explaining the frame.
Every day would be a different, and then
a different angle of you getting kicked in the face.
You and George to do reaction videos to it, which would just be classic. But yeah, no, like
Cassius, we know you watch the podcast.
Listen,
pretty cool opportunity here.
This is not a moneymaker. Like that's not how this all works. Like I'll get kicked in the face for content, 100%.
You could have pointed at anything in your life that isn't your wife when you said that.
Wow. All right. Well, we're 6 minutes in. Let's go, I guess.
Drink that beautiful beer. Drink that beautiful beer, beautiful boy.
Fine.
Anyway, this is. I think it'll be interesting. I don't think we're gonna get a bounty higher than this.
Oh, I think you will. I also think it will sell for more than this.
I guess Posty might be the
Posty's the unknown, man. I got the thumbnail ready for that video, by the way. I'm just waiting.
I believe you do.
Yeah, he probably does.
I do. I'm just like, he's got to make an offer, right? Post. Don't make my work go to waste, man.
I think Star City could. I mean, I think
Star City's not going to have to make an offer because they're.
I think Fireball could. I think eBay could. I mean, like, there's a lot of people that could.
Wait. Star City is going to make an offer. It's going to be a buy list offer for like $300,000. That's how they work, right? That's how store buy lists work.
That's true,
man.
I think we're gonna see. I mean,
if I pull it, I will not sell it to Channel Fireball. I don't care if their offer is the highest. Channel Fireball can't make me an offer big enough for me to sell them anything.
I want it to be clear. If I pull it, I'm taking the New Zealand trip and then changing my mind last minute. Like we're going on vacation.
How you think they won't make you slab it before the trip? That's my favorite part. They're like, gotcha.
They said you bring it. They said, we fly you out and you bring it.
Why are we still talking about this? The first offer that was made for the card is what we're still talking about.
Oh, because I'm like triple dipping. I'm taking that trip. I'm going on the professor's YouTube channel.
When I pull it, which will be this weekend on live streams.
Early.
Wait, you're opening the product early?
I'm allowed to open the product. I already talked to people. I'm allowed to open the product. I'm not allowed to ship it. It's been confirmed. When I pull it this weekend, I will be making content with the ring as I travel to Mordor because I watched The Lord of the Rings this week.
That's why you're so cranky.
Yeah, I hate that movie. It sucks.
I'm busy. I'm busy. You know what? Here's 14 hours to watch a movie.
Why's my store failing?
Well,
Jesus. That was me.
Look at that face.
Listen, audience, I want you to know what I go through to be on this podcast for you. I watched the first hour and 15 minutes of Lord of the Rings last night and then fell asleep on the couch. It was as bad as I remember it being.
The first one's like the best one too. Maybe
I stand with him on this one. I stand in unity with Louis on this one.
The horse riding thing is what gets me. It's like why couldn't they catch her? She's like going out there and there's like 18 horses that are obviously faster than her horse. How does she get to the water? And then why are they like, I don't like water? But then they're just like, oh wait, the ring's there. Like they forgot about the ring when they hit the water. Like, I don't know, man. It just all seems not that cool.
I think we should do a reaction video to Lord of the Rings, the movies, as a podcast. I thought about doing it, but it would get demonetized, so we wouldn't make $10. So
that really I like that you keep saying we
would be demonetized. Yeah. A, I've always been demonetized. And B, it's like, who the hell cares?
And C, my YouTube channel makes all of $10. So
they block it out. Remember that? Did I tell you guys I did that video? And it was when I was talking about the Brothers War, and I put what's that anime show that was in the Brothers Transformers on in the background, and I got like they cut out half of my video because of the Transformers anime in the background.
Yeah, it was an old cartoon that you had playing on like a TV.
Yeah. Keep talking. I'm obviously distracted.
Hello, Mr. President.
What's going on right now? In my head, you're just drinking Everclear, and I want to make sure you know that.
No, I'm not. This is water, George. It's some of us drink it to sustain ourselves. Do you think that there's an opportunity if two bounties are close and one is made by let's say Rudy makes a bounty of 750,000.
I don't even think of the Rudy bounty.
Rudy is not. I don't have any inside information. When Rudy and I have breakfast, lunch, and dinner together before we tell each other bedtime stories, we do not talk about this. When he makes, let's say, an $800,000 bounty, does somebody sell it to Rudy over the other bounty with the promise of maybe A, for popularity? Like, is there some fan service reverse going on there?
$100,000?
Oh, let's say it's $100,000, right? Or $50,000.
No. I think if Rudy was at like $995 or $990.
You think his popularity, you think the idea of being the only, like being on Rudy's channel is worth $5,000? I think someone would pay $50,000.
No, maybe, but like, listen, like you would, like whoever pulls this will have the opportunity to do the nerd circuit of podcasts. for at least 2 months.
That's right. You're welcome on this
we'd obviously
podcast.
have him on. Obviously
Actually,
America's number one TCG and Taylor Swift podcast would love to have him on.
We'd have to be careful because, what if they're just a horrible human? Anyone can pull this card. Hi, Louie. Welcome back.
Hi.
I said to do this. Now you do it.
Huh?
Yeah.
This is Little Monarch. Remember Little Monarch? It's been
I
a
don't.
while.
I don't remember that name. They would obviously get to go on the professor's channel. They can do the nerd tour. I really would interview the guy if they pull or the gal, them if they pull the card.
Yeah.
Woke.
Of all the weeks to make that statement, really?
Got it. They'll get to pull the card. And they'll get to go to do the nerd circuit. Without the extra cabbage.
Are they coming on our podcast?
dangerously.
Did we offer an invite?
Yeah,
we did.
That's what we did. We did.
Cool.
What
we will
what
only
if you're
only if we're your first though. I don't want your sloppy second garbage.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Like the second you go on everybody else's channel, you're dead to me.
Yeah, then you're off.
No.
That's it. You're off the podcast. You could still do a video on my channel.
Wow.
Coward.
Wow.
This is have another sip of your beer.
I think I still think this doesn't get pulled.
Do
the odds of the odds of it getting pulled? Oh, we should say that their bounty expires July 17th, which is super interesting.
Yeah.
That is super. That is how you know they're pros, because this card is worth $2 million the week after it releases, and $200,000 2 years after it releases.
Yeah.
Really? You think so?
Oh, I'm not. 200,000 might be hyperbole.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
This card will be decimated in price in 2 years' time.
Yeah, when everybody forgets about Lord of the Rings.
No, it's just the hype will be gone. If we have learned nothing as a community, sell into the hype.
Yeah.
Do not hold past the hype.
This advice applies to all TCGs in all seasons of life.
Every TCG, every season, everybody, always sell into the hype.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would not hold on to this card if you hold it.
No.
Okay, so I want your guys' thoughts on the rest of the ring. I'm curious your thoughts on the rest of the rings. Where does the 1 of 300 soul ring fit into this picture?
$3K.
Wow.
Am I wrong?
I think it's less than that. I was thinking we received 12 to 1,500, but I think you might be right. Just because we're talking the numbers for the first time and putting things into perspective. I've never put a number to it. I think you might.
Here's how you know it's a good card. I have heard of it.
Yeah.
Soul Ring is a card that I hear about all the time, and that clearly means a lot of people want it.
Yeah.
except for the one guy that convinced Louis people are cutting it from Commander decks.
Yeah. Other than that one
look at the comments from last week. You guys are both idiots.
I did. There was one. You're right, and that guy convinced you that they're cutting Soul Ring, and the rest of the Oh,
it was a local guy that told me about it.
I called it last week. I said, just because the West Virginia meta, he's like, it's not the meta here.
That's true. That now.
So I did the math on my channel. I did a video and I did the math, and I took the Mox Amber and basically said this card is worth twice as much, not looking at the numbers, but twice as much as Mox Amber, right? Soul Ring is certainly more iconic and a more played and more recognizable card than Mox Amber. So double it. And then if you take in consideration the 1 of 300 compared to 1 of 500, it'd be a 4K card.
Does the 1 of 3 or does 1 of the 3,000 go over $100 then?
But it's also Lord of the Rings.
$400.
It's also Lord of the Rings. There will be Lord of the Rings people who can't afford the $1 million 1 of 1 and will want the 1 of 300.
Yeah, and somebody shout out to Art. It's actually Arthur, but I don't know. Anyway, he said, I'm a huge Lord of the Rings collector, and if I was collecting this, if I was really going heavy on it, I would want 3 of the what's it called? Not the dwarf. Is it the dwarven ones? No, there's 5 of the dwarven. Anyway, he would want 3 of them is it 7 and 9? Is that what it is? I don't know. Yeah, it's 300, 700, and 900.
Yeah, that sounds about
so
right.
he would want 3 of the dwarven ones, 7 of the elven ones, and 9 of the human ones to put on display if he was going to make a display of it. I was like, oh, that's super interesting. And then you get really into it and you start thinking of like, what if somebody wants to collect numbers 1, 2, and 3, numbers 1 through 7, and 1 through 9 of the, like, that's where things, if there is a collector, listen, if there's a collector, like, this is where everyone,
if you're spending $1 million on one card, you can convince me that someone spends a couple thousand on,
right? And that's where this is where I get back to, like, does this card get pulled or not? And what does the market talk? What does the market do when this card doesn't get pulled? Let's go July 8th. There's 9 more days in the Dave and Adams auction. How many people are ripping $400 collector boxes to get this bounty?
Everybody who can't do math. You could not be opening boxes to pull the 1 of 1, and I don't think people will be. Like, I think a very small percentage.
By that logic, the price doesn't go up if the ring's not pulled.
I don't think the price will move a great deal after the ring is pulled.
No, that's not what I said.
You're saying if the ring is not pulled, does the price go up?
Like, it'll go up over time because less boxes will exist, like every Magic product. I mean, like,
yeah, I mean in a shorter period. You think in a short period the price doesn't go up if the ring's not pulled?
No.
Interesting.
No, I don't think I mean, how many boxes do we think there are?
But Wizards
250,000 seems to be one of the numbers that's floating around.
I mean, that's $4 a box in EV.
Listen,
not a lot.
I mean,
have you opened Magic collector boxes recently?
God, $4 is that's like 50% of most collector boxes these days.
Listen, Louis had a rough day. I wanted to say it before he could because I didn't know if he would make it through the statement without breaking down. I think he'd lose it. I think Wizards of the Coast tells you that they believe a good amount of these boxes will be opened of the pool because of the reprint, right? The holiday edition, the special collector, the special super awesome baller collector, different art edition is, the theory is it's their way to.
Cannot believe that. Still the crankiest I've ever been. Can't believe they're doing me dirty. And I know it's coming. I can feel it in my soul.
All right, now that you got that off your chest, people believe it's their way to reprint the boxes and get around this serialized card because they can't just reprint the normal box if you're going to keep the serialized pull rate the same, right? So they are telling you, we think most of this product will sell.
I think you guys underestimate. I think you guys underestimate how many people are opening this because they have a chance at a 1-on-1 ring. I really think you're underestimating. I know it's not good financial advice to be like, hey, you should open this to get a $1 million bounty. That's obviously stupid. Nobody would be like, hey, you should go to Sheets and play the lottery because that's essentially what this is.
Louis still does every lunch break.
So I made a point. I made a point. I didn't think people would
lunch in years.
I didn't think people would, but the sale numbers from the gift bundle,
long bird.
The sales of the what?
The sales of the gift bundle told me a long time ago I was wrong about that because people are YOLOing into the gift bundle because it has a little lottery ticket in it.
Yeah. Well, because people justify it, right? They're like,
right.
Oh, I want to open some of this anyway, and so now there's one over ring, yay! And that's what I hear all the time in the stores. Like, I wasn't planning on it, but now that the ring's there, I'm gonna open some. I want to go back to the other serialized cards. I actually think that I think those are really cool. Like, I think that will be, I think that'll be the story of the set more than 100%. The 1-on-1 ring will be.
100%.
Been saying it all along.
Will last for a week.
And especially to Lord of the Rings fans, like, I think those will be a really cool collectible piece that a lot of people might be able to reach at the higher tier ones, right? Like the 1 of 900, like that might end up being like an $800 card. I think there's a lot of Lord of the Rings fans who would put an $800 Soul Ring in their collection because they're a Lord of the Rings fan.
I think we're actually overlooking and probably undervaluing the non-serialized soul rings because they're limited print as well. The 300 it's a factor of 10, right? So the 300 serialized ring is 3,000 unserialized, and so on and so forth. I think we're vastly underestimating how well those could do.
Well, I think they'll be $100 or so.
Yeah, but I think we'll see a lot of people justify. I'll do the 379 of those.
Yeah, that's cool.
Because that's more achievable. Yeah, I really think so.
That's cool. It'll be interesting. It'll be a lot of fun to watch. I did not watch the Whatnot streams that were going on this week, but it'll be a lot of fun to watch myself open these this weekend.
All right. So the only topic that really matters, let's say somebody with 200 views, 200 subscribers opens the one of one ring.
Yeah.
How many views does that video get?
Well, first off, if you do watch those videos, please do yourself do the YouTuber a favor and hit the subscribe button when you watch those videos.
Oh my God.
Nothing pains me more.
You don't have to subscribe to everybody whose video you watch because it messes up your algorithm. You don't need to subscribe to people's videos who you don't enjoy. You don't have any obligation to do that just because two fat cat content creators want you to.
Wait, hold on. As the tiny little content creator just trying to scrape together breadcrumbs to eat, yes, you do.
Yeah.
Subscribe to my channel.
Nothing.
Yes.
Nothing.
Subscribe to Gotcha's channel.
Nothing
He has great content. But if your content sucked and I just wanted to watch one of your videos,
what better content is there than opening the one-of-one ring?
But that's the only time you'll ever care about that person's video.
That
you'll
might not
never
be
want to
true.
go back.
That might not be true.
I have a real take here. But George just complimented me. I don't know how to. I don't know.
Fat cat.
I honestly don't know how to proceed. Do I just sign off? Like, hey, thanks,
podcast.
Thanks everyone for watching. Yes. This has been a great run. I don't know what just happened.
I think this gets 1 million views for sure.
Yeah, I think so too.
Oh, I think that's easy. I was thinking way more than that.
I think what's going to be a shame is if that does happen, if that creator doesn't then leverage that into some serious channel growth. We've seen things. Listen. If you're making these YouTube videos, you clearly you have a dream. If you're making these YouTube videos and you're a smaller channel. Okay.
Some of us have dreams. Some of us have dreams.
Like, listen, you have dreams, you have aspirations. You use that, leverage that, make sure you're on your game, be a good personality in that moment. I would hate for that to be opened and it's a super bland personality that just goes by the wayside.
What percentage?
Make sure you still subscribe according to them.
What percentage of boxes do you think get recorded on opening?
A ton.
It's got to be a good number. It's got to be a good number. Just at that shot of glory.
I have had 10 customers ask if they can bring in their setup to the store on release day already.
That's dope.
No, not dope.
What?
I'm gonna set our.
We only allow Kitchen Table TCG and the requisite podcast to be aired on in my store.
Aired
they can record
or record?
I don't care.
Okay.
Was that another compliment? Did I just get complimented? George plays my channel at a store. This is weird.
Can I give you a spoiler?
George, we like the negative George better.
Can I give you a spoiler? No. I don't. I have no idea how to do that. You can ask my staff if they do. I don't know. I've not been to my store in 3 weeks.
That makes sense.
Your staff has never been happier.
All right. Well,
that's unquestionably true.
I'm super excited for the set. I got some more pre-release kits. I'm up to 30, which is super annoying. But still pretty cool. I know that's the biggest negative of this so far is that the pre-release kits were so allocated.
It's weird.
Everybody they said everybody in my region got allocated like to basically none, and our region got 0 growth kits. It just seems like a stupid set to like last set. 2 sets ago, Brothers War is the one that I accidentally ordered cases instead of single ones, and I had like 450.
I forgot. Yeah, that was awesome.
I had 450 pre-release kits. Why can't I get 45 pre-release kits, which is what I need for this one? Like it's wild.
You're selling your cases. I forgot all about that.
Hey, and you sold them all?
Yeah. I did it again for Phyrexia because I'm an idiot.
Okay, part of this is just on you, dude. Yep, that's your daddy. We love him.
The mill drain. It's happening again. It's amazing.
We'll see what happens.
I don't know why I refuse to learn.
This is what happens when
GamersGrove.gg if you need your pre-release kit.
This is what happens when you put your orders in with 2 sick kids and screaming in your ear and, whatever.
You need to take the George approach and just not go to the store for a little while, my guy.
I don't do it from the store. I don't work in the store. I gotta sell stuff. All right, can we move on?
Sell stuff from my store.
What is going on right now?
All right, we're gonna talk about the Whatnot leaks.
I have
Oh God!
Warning: this episode might contain spoilers.
It's one from my end because I have no idea what got spoiled.
So
that's
the opening jumpstart.
No, but they opened. So Whatnot. This is one of the things I want to talk about is that Whatnot people got a hold of the product and are promising next day shipping on air while opening. My rep called me because I was talking to my rep. I was like, "Hey, I you're getting my boxes this week. I can stream this week." And he's like, "Yeah, you can stream. Just don't be like this idiot Whatnot guy that's literally saying on his channel that he's going to be streaming immediately or shipping immediately." I was like, "Yeah, I won't ship till next Friday." But it's wild. Like,
I mean, like, are they stores that are doing this, or are they just?
It's got to be because how else would they get products so early?
Oh, stop! You
friends of stores.
Child.
Yeah. What do you mean?
Well, they've
patrons
got to be connected to stores. So they're friends of the distros.
Friends of store owners.
It's pretty early for store owners to get boxes too, isn't it?
I don't know.
There's that one channel.
I've gotten mine yet. I don't think
there's the one channel that runs a store that always gets the boxes like super early.
Yeah, that's got to be connected to distro. Like that's how early it is. Like my rep was like, we got boxes yesterday. I paid him yesterday, and he was shipping today. So like, to get it that early, you've got to be a distro. Are we pro this as the podcast? Are we pro early leaks or against it? Obviously, we as store owners are not going to be shipping.
No,
but as
baby.
Community members, are we pro the set getting spoiled early?
I will say the same thing I said during Aftermath. I'm opening all 6 of those bad boys. I don't own a store. I'm putting that stuff on you. Come get me, Pinkertons. Bring it on. I'll open it at all.
This is a topic that everybody else cares about so much that I could not care less about. Like, you're gonna open the boxes in a week anyway.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand this rabble rousing over people opening boxes. I don't do it. I don't care. But it's just it is people super care about this, and I don't understand why it's the passion of the sun.
Also, you don't have to click on the box opening video.
Yeah, that too. As a store owner and a content creator, I'm kind of on the side of if you get legal product ever, it's time to open it and make content out of it.
Listen,
if it's legal, if you got it legally, you go for it.
I've accidentally broken street date on a couple things here and there.
I'm
back in my previous games.
As a store, obviously don't ship it, but again, you don't have to watch the content if you don't want leaks, right?
Why do people care so much about leaks? What are the?
Well, there's definitely a jealousy from the loudest voices in the rooms, which are probably usually stores, right? There's a jealousy of why did they get product before us and that kind of thing.
Oh my god!
Even though we all can't sell it to the same day. Anyway,
well, in their defense, these people were selling it and shipping it, which is pretty.
If your customers are there bidding on the Whatnot streams,
yeah,
you're probably not a great customer anyway.
My customers don't know what Whatnot is, and I'd love to keep it that way.
That being said, you can watch Louis open this product on Whatnot.
Nope, won't be on Whatnot. It'll be on the channel, probably Friday night, actually. So if you're watching this on Friday morning, tune in tonight, and we'll be streaming some box openings.
Nope, I'll be on vacation.
Crying in the background.
Probably.
Where's all the
It'll probably be
value
like
in this
this.
box? Where's all the value,
I
please,
know what's
Dad?
gonna happen. You're gonna like have to go take care of the kid for a second, and Lauren's gonna open a pack, and Lauren's gonna open the 101. It's guaranteed.
And she's gonna be like, "What's this?"
Lauren will be working at the store, so Lauren won't be opening packs.
We'll go to the store and open them there.
I have the kids at home, George.
You can bring the kids to the store. They're
They
transportable.
They sleep. They have to sleep.
They can sleep in
They're
the store.
transportable.
They can't
They're
sleep in the store.
transportable.
Gosh.
It's a pack and play.
It's like a luggage.
It does.
It's like a carry-on.
I can tell one of you has never had kids, and one of you only has one kid. That's
Oh
what
my
I could
God.
tell from this
Pretty
right now.
It's pretty great. She's pretty awesome.
I actually only have one kid this weekend too. So
Where's the other?
She's going with mom
Oh, no.
out of town.
Where are they going?
I'm not going to disclose that on the podcast.
Slide into my DMs. Let me know.
Also, I might not know. I just
If she's coming back to a Carolina, so help me God.
probably. Anyway, there's no other place that this would happen other than Whatnot. And
You are down on Whatnot.
don't
I
like
thought you were all in on Whatnot versus eBay Live.
eBay Live
I thought we.
doesn't exist. I'll be on eBay Live when
I
it
know
comes out.
you were super big on eBay Live, and then it never happened, and you
Yeah, it
never
never
brought it up
happened.
again.
Yeah, because it never
Yeah.
happened.
Shocking. I remember somebody on the podcast predicting it would never happen. I don't
All
remember that guy's name, but he was
Time
saying.
to talk about things that aren't TCGs because we've talked too much about TCGs. Did you guys
I'm
see
in.
the Apple Glass thing? The Apple Vision?
Yes. So I operated an AR attraction at a fun park 5 years ago. It was awesome, and I remember thinking, "This will never work." Like in the mainstream. Then I saw Apple's presentation, and I was like, "Oh, this will never work in the mainstream."
Yeah, same thing.
Like
And it's $3,500.
that's not crazy to me.
It's $34.99.
I thought
What
it
do
was
you
really
think it was
cool.
gonna cost?
I was watching the whole time. The cost is fine, but I was watching the whole time. I thought it was really cool, and then it ended, and I thought that it was going to end with some sort of connection with other people. Like the whole time, I was thinking, when
Metaverse.
can I watch this, and can me and my wife both have one of these things on, and we're watching a movie together on the couch? Like,
And when she turns and looks at me, I'm attractive. It's
and then
wild. I hope.
it just ended, and there was no like, hey, by the way, you're not a single guy in New York watching TV by yourself. Like, you can also do this with your kids or with your family. And then they just never had that, and I was like, well, I'm out. I don't watch TV by myself. I watch TV with my wife, and I will never use this ever.
I needed to make me look attractive to my, like, when my wife turns and looks, I'm just like gorgeous, like Matthew McConaughey or something. That's what I need. That's the VR I need in my life.
Yeah. Anyway, those are my thoughts on it. Moving on.
We can move on. I have actual thoughts that are not for this platform on that.
Okay. Can't wait to
Well,
can't wait to hear those, Josh.
Josh's Spicy channel will have that information for you.
not that.
Josh's
You-
Spicy link will have that information
sickos.
for you.
Josh's
You
30 YouTube
gross humans. You disgusting human beings. You made a second YouTube channel before me, by the way.
I had a second YouTube. This is my second YouTube channel, so that
God, your
is
first one was
correct.
so much better though.
That is correct because this channel existed before your channel.
Yes.
That is correct statement. All right,
Thank
Upper
you.
Decked. George's favorite game is just a copycat of another game, and nothing is original. And Upper Deck
And
is suing
Louis-
Lorcana.
All right. So I want you to know the designer said you don't know how to read was spot on, and you just proved it perfectly.
Wow, low blow.
Yeah.
Low blow. We
that's not
also
a low-
never disclosed about that joke. This is the first time the actual info of that joke is coming out on the podcast. Since then, it's always just been Louis doesn't know how to read. Nobody knew.
No, who doesn't know how to read? So Upper Deck is suing Ravensburger, which is important, which I think is a much more important distinction than people are talking about. And they're saying that the game designer basically stole the rules for the game from a game that he was working on for Upper Deck.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people are missing some important parts in this. So first, Upper Deck is going for the throat, right? They're saying we want you to delay the release of
pretty petty.
Lorcana. We want you to basically you can't release Lorcana until this lawsuit is
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of things here. First, they're suing Ravensburger, not Disney, which is important because that means like Disney would have, if Disney wants to throw their hat in the ring, they have to find a way to throw their hat in the ring. Either financially.
Disney lawyers are notoriously good.
Ruthless.
Well, I mean, like, listen, like Disney makes more money than this quarter than Upper Deck will this year.
Yeah.
And probably more than Ravensburger will combined. I mean, like, so Ravensburger's getting sued. The IP, the copyright, was granted to Lorcana first before Upper Deck's game.
Interesting.
I know Louis doesn't like that fact because he just wants to FUD up Lorcana and not do any reading.
I don't want to FUD up. I just want you to fail. But that's also not true.
Aren't you fudding George, son?
Yeah, I don't know. I just like fighting with you. I just want to fight about something.
How's your week going?
Not that.
All right. That's the first thing. Now, people are making a very big deal of that Lorcana got their copyright in first. That doesn't matter as much as people think it does. Let me be very clear here. I'm not an IP lawyer. I took one IP course in law school. I think I got a bad grade in it because it's very technical, and I don't do technical. I was more of the litigator.
Imagine that. Imagine that.
I can bullshit my way out of the paper bag, baby. Let's roll.
We're on to your 103rd episode of the TCG podcast.
Doing great. Dreams do come true. You can get copyright without copywriting it. You get automatic copyright. Mm-hmm. Now, it might matter a lot if they think, hey, listen, I got in first in line might matter a lot, but like it might not matter as much as people think it does. Like you can't just copy it and then say I copyrighted it first.
Game mechanics have to be hard too, because like a game's mechanics are everybody copies off of everybody.
So I found there's a lawyer that broke this down, Louis, and what he pointed out, it was on Twitter. I was just looking for the tweet. I can't seem to find it, but it was going pretty viral in my feed. And it was not just the game's mechanics, but it was the mechanics and the turn cycle seemed to line up and match down to a T with different names. And that's where the intricacies, in my opinion, got interesting. It wasn't just like you play a resource. It wasn't as vague as you make resource, you do action, you get result, you end turn. It wasn't that. It was far more in-depth from the way this guy broke this down.
Upper Deck has also sued games before and lost, which I don't think is unimportant that they have a habit of losing. They have a habit of suing games. Was
that Yu-Gi-Oh? I thought it was a pretty
sued 2 or 3 people.
I thought it was a pretty big game. They did,
and they lost. Before. Now, here's what I would say. I think if I was Ravensburger, I'd sleep all right tonight. If I was a game designer, I'd probably sleep less great tonight if I were him.
You think like Ravensburger fires Ryan Miller?
No, but like if he I don't know the contracts he signed with Upper Deck, but like I suspect there was a pretty firm you can't take my stuff and go make Lorcana clause.
So then
that seems like a pretty good clause to have for a lead game designer.
Like Upper Deck comes and sues just Ryan Miller?
Yeah.
Oh wow. It's interesting, Josh.
Is Ryan Miller not named?
Yeah, well, he's the former designer that copied Upper Deck's original game allegedly.
All right. So here's why I would be stunned if the story doesn't end in this way. I will be stunned if Lorcana does not release on time. I will be stunned if this is not settled for a cash payment.
Well, and that's
this is like clearly going to be a cash payment.
There's going to be a settlement.
Is Upper Deck really thinking that they're going to come out with a game called Rush of Icor and compete with Lorcana?
I mean, like
a lot of other indie TCGs think they're going to compete with Lorcana.
So, I just don't understand why you don't sue them and be like, we want a percentage of Lorcana.
Okay.
No?
Sure. That's going to be worth more than any cash settlement you're going to get. I don't think you're going to get it.
But like, why are they trying to delay it? Don't they need it to be a success in order to get?
No.
They
want a higher settlement. They want a very high settlement.
Gotcha.
I just like this is gonna. I lost no sleep over this. I will say it's getting late. Like that's what scares me a little bit more. Is like it is a month away. It's less than a month away.
Spicy take.
Yeah.
Who's got the spicy take?
This is driven by WotC to try to delay Lorcana.
All right,
So
I
Commander Masters get hit.
I wasn't gonna get into it, but I'll get
Chris
into
Cox,
it. You know,
I'm on to you.
Has Magic ever sued anybody? Because it kind of seems like most games basically steal Magic's core game design of land resources. Do they sue people?
There was a Kickstarter TCG, I believe it was named Swift, that Magic issued a cease and desist and took legal action against, and they actually had to pull the game because not only were the mechanics exact, but there were several cards that were pretty much exact replicas of Magic cards.
And they also have certain phrase trademarked or copyrighted, right? Where you can't like tap is something you can't use normally.
Right. Yeah, we know that from other games. Interesting. Yeah.
I think this is a nothing. I think this is a nothing burger for Ravensburger. They're going to have to, congratulations. You're going to have to pay off Upper Deck a little bit of cabbage.
George, why don't you have a Lorcana YouTube channel? That could be your video title. A nothing burger.
I'm afraid I'll get 200 views, and I have to really commit to making a great channel like Josh told me to. And I don't have that kind of commitment, if I'm being honest.
I don't remember telling you that, but that sounds like amazing advice.
I am not. I don't know if I want to say this. I'll say it.
Proud of you.
I'll say it.
I believe in you.
Regardless of my application to be a Lorcana content creator, I'll say it.
Did you apply to be a content creator?
Of course I did. Stop it. We make Lorcana content. What the hell do you think this is? Of course I did.
Do you think I can apply?
Yeah, you're a content creator. Why would I not?
You said it like you didn't believe it.
Nothing but fun up the game and talk how it's going to fail for a year.
That's still content. Still content.
A, it's still content. B, my takes have been very honest, and
that doesn't mean they weren't fun.
I have described exactly what Lorcana could do to make me believe in their game, and we have.
Oh my god!
Listen,
and
history.
I assume that Lorcana and Ravensburger, being an old company that has actual depth and roots, isn't a bunch of immature jerks that would just not allow a content creator for criticizing their game. So 100%. I assume that we will get content creator stuff, and then I could share it with George, who doesn't have a channel because he doesn't want to put the time into it.
Louis and I are living embodiments that there's no chance that by providing critical analysis will you ever get removed from some kind of content creator program.
Yeah. Why would they not want people making content about their game? No. Now, that being said, I am not surprised that Ryan Miller is getting sued for copyright.
All right, never mind. There it goes. There it goes. And there it goes.
We've already talked about that this game is basically just a reskin of other games he's already designed. We've already talked about that.
We put this in an investment account. It should mature, and it's gone.
I don't remember that being said, if I'm being perfectly honest with you.
Honestly, I bet you Upper Deck got the idea because when they were making Rush of Icor, they were like, oh, wait, this is basically another game, and they're just trying to beat it to him before whatever the other game was called gets there. I can't remember.
You flew so close to the sun, young Phoenix. So close to the sun.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't remember that ever being said in this podcast or anywhere in my presence. I'll be honest with you. That's news to me.
It's not Keyforge, but it's what's that other game that it's basically the same mechanics too. Everybody, it's an old game that came out only in. It's basically Magic, but it was mostly in Japan, I think. Duel Masters. Yeah, this game is basically Duel Masters. So I'm surprised but didn't Magic own Duel Masters? I don't know.
This is the content you come here for, folks.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is welcome to MTZBWY with you, where we have America's favorite Lorcana content creator, Louis.
I can't remember who owned a dead TCG. What am I supposed to do? What is
listen,
this?
Man,
Genesis.
What is this? Genesis?
Genesis. God, Genesis is going to become the free space in our May the Zoo be with you bingo, and I'm here for it.
Oh, wow. All right. So
I'm still blown away by how quickly you 180'd that. That's where you're the goat, dude. That's where you're the goat.
I set it all up.
That was intense. I got both sides. That was.
Yeah.
Listen,
I just want the record to reflect I am Team Ravensburger and Team Miller. I am on your team. If you need the advice of somebody who went to law school but failed the bar, I got your back. Slide in my DMs.
That's the real question here.
Well,
you love Lorcana so much.
Why did George fail law school?
No. You love Lorcana so much. Are you willing to go take and pass the bar so you can defend them not only on this platform but in the
goal?
Absolutely not. Absolutely
not.
Get
to it, my friend. Put your money where your mouth is. Defend Lorcana with all you got.
Elephant in the room though, doesn't Upper Deck basically have nothing? Like, isn't this just them clawing at some surface?
This is them good for
some
money.
non-existent surface to be like, maybe if we win this lawsuit, we could get enough money to pay our employees for like another 6 months or something. Like, they lost all their licenses.
How do you dunk on you? There's a lawsuit and two sides going at it, and you dunk on one side, then you turn around and destroy the other. Dude, you're leaving yourself with nothing.
They have the hockey license still.
That's it. Nobody cares about hockey, so they're selling cards to people in Canada.
Hockey on the
so you gotta pay. Like, think about that. Think about the logic behind it. Not only now they have to pay customs whenever they sell it, and everybody in Canada gets pissed because they have to pay extra taxes for their cards now. That's the only place anybody cares about hockey. This is coming from a hockey fan, and they have no other licenses. They have nothing.
This is great. I am in.
They have nothing.
So I would say this. I would rather be on Ravensburger side of this lawsuit than Upper Deck side of this lawsuit. Yeah. But like, this is going to settle.
I'd rather be on Upper Deck side because it's going to settle and they're going to get a large sum of money.
I think they'll get 6 figures. I mean, like maybe low 7s. I don't think it'd be a ton.
So you think Disney just comes in and is like, here's some money. We don't have any of it anyway.
Ravensburger.
Well, Disney could pay the money for them, right?
They could.
Can't Disney bankroll that?
Why would Disney do? Oh, what if Disney is like, oh, sorry, this breaks contract for your licensing because you copied another game, and we don't want this bad press. And then pulls
you
it.
Are really you are
that's the story I want.
You are going ham on this.
I want that story. I want that story, and I want the 1-of-1 ring be pulled from some kid who doesn't know what they have. Those are the 2 stories I want.
So then he walks into Game Grove and you can offer him $10 for it.
Yeah, sure.
Pawn Stars, here we come, baby. Shout out to Cryptic. So like
there it is. There's the Cryptic content for today.
There it is. Cryptic shout out.
I mean, I have no idea the content with Disney Ravensburger. I mean, like, I tend to think this is a bunch of nothing, and this will get resolved pretty quickly.
Interesting.
I don't like. I think Lorcana will be fine.
That's why I want it. That's why I want to be on Upper Deck side of this. Upper Deck wrote a statement, and they're going to get paid.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got to do. You know what, Louis? There are several videos on your channel that I feel copyright infringed on my videos. I'm writing an official statement.
Right, what do you want? 10% of the ad revenue?
I want $1 of that $10, dude.
Only the long form content gets $10.
No, I'm screwed. I'll never get paid on this platform.
He only does shorts now, Josh. I'm sorry, buddy. So,
dude, the shorts have been fired.
We're not doing shorts again. We did shorts the last 2 weeks in a row.
I have one of my shorts heads up to like 140,000 views.
It does not count as views. Next topic.
I mean, all right.
I think it counts as views.
Let's talk. We fudded one game. Let's talk about the next one. Sorcery arrives in Canada.
We did not FUD up Lorcana. One person FUDed up Lorcana.
We made content for. We made honest takes and content for.
I said I'm a big fan of Upper Deck getting paid, so I'm probably not getting the program anytime soon.
Sorcery has arrived. Has arriven. Has landed.
Arove.
It arove.
Arroved.
Sorcery arroved. Arroved has taken arrive of. Office quote.
Louis, I have a book for you to help you.
Why is that in the background of your videos?
Look, man. Here, look. Ooh, it's got pictures. You got
Don't
this.
let my kid see that. She's gonna want me to read to her.
I can't do that.
And it'll be a disappointment.
She'll be like, Daddy, that's not the word. Daddy,
why can't you read?
Daddy, that's a dog, not a cat. What are you talking about? Gosh, that's how my day's gone. I'm just roasting myself now. Anyway, Sorcery arrived in Canada, of all places. I'm sure they had to pay extra import fees. And I'm sure they'll use the cards for hockey bricks. So that's cool. I've got some people sending me some boxes.
Wait, you said you were going to talk about a different topic as well on this topic.
I'm waiting for you to bring it up. I assumed
I don't know anything about it. You told me about it right before the podcast. I know nothing about it.
I was there. This follows.
Everything looks to be pretty cool, other than one of the cards was pulled in foil with the wrong text on it.
Wait, was it only one card?
One foil card. Well, there's only really been like one person that's posted any.
Okay, so far they're 1 for 1. I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
So far it's 100%. I didn't realize that. That does change things.
They posted I was trying to find it, but I couldn't because the kid. But
this is easily the best and easily the worst podcast we've ever done.
That's fair.
Easily.
That's most weeks, though.
No,
most weeks we say that.
Usually you guys say, I'm like, oh my God, this joke again. This time it's true.
Yeah. Anyway, it was, it has the wrong text on it. So it's a foil card only, and we haven't seen a non-foil version of the card.
So is it the wrong, like, what's wrong on it?
Card text. It's
the
like
wrong
if you took the card text from card B and put the card text onto card A.
All right, so let's use things I know. I have a Pikachu. Yeah, and I have a Blastoise.
Yeah, it's a Pikachu artwork, and it says Pikachu, but it's got Hydro Pump on it for 4 blue mana.
Oh, that's a Blastoise ability.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's got
its
Blastoise
energy.
Okay.
And its energy.
But it says Pikachu on the card still.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's got Pikachu's artwork.
That's not great.
No, but it's still unclear if it's just like a mistake for one. We obviously haven't seen another holo because there's not that many of the holos out there. But also,
my gosh,
we have not seen the regular version of the card either. So we don't know if it's like every card is printed wrong or if it's just the holo.
If it's one holo,
as of the filming, which is set, we record on Wednesday nights.
If this screws up one of the holos, when the whole talk has been the holos are the chase, they're rare, they're hard to get, and the whole print of holos is messed up.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Well, I don't think that's the way it is because I don't know where this card came from. I assume it's coming from a box, and they didn't post all the other holos that were wrong. So I don't think that's the way it is. It might be that all the holos of this card are wrong, though. We know that it's not all the holos because I opened a box and all the holos were right.
That was my fault. I meant all the holos of this version. But your analysis of the fact that this card came from a box is why we come to this podcast.
It could have come from a pre-con kit that has a pack in it.
That's some groundbreaking stuff.
It could have come from a pre-con kit which has a pack in it.
Not mine.
Not yours.
Mine didn't.
You got sent to another content creator.
They also have Lorcana, that content creator.
Yeah, also Lorcana available.
That's wild.
My gut says, and this is my gut, this is not honest what happens.
Big take here.
My gut says that all of the holos of that card will be wrong. That it's a print issue with the holo.
Here's my gut. That is true, and I will hear about how this is amazing, and it's going to make an even rarer card that will somehow increase the value of boxes.
Well, so Koshai already responded to it, and he was like, this is the only one where I'm summarizing what he said because I don't have it in front of me. This is the only one we're aware of it. We're not happy about it, but there's nothing we can do to change it.
So my problem with Koshai is that he's really got reasonable takes that I respect.
Yeah,
like that's the problem. I want the other people in the community. I want their takes because they're the wild ones. Don't ever give me a Koshai quote again because it's not the ones I'm looking for.
Mike, how do you feel about this? Mike, how do you feel about this?
Smart takes. I want takes of people who are pumping boxes and calling you to whine about me. That's who I want. Those are the takes I want.
The responses have been, this is what makes alpha alpha. And
bingo, there you go. That's the ones I want.
And another one I loved was this is what makes it feel like Magic's alpha, because Magic's alpha had all sorts of mistakes.
Oh my God.
But yeah,
that played in 1995. It doesn't play in 2023.
Yeah, I get it. I think that it's obviously a mistake that they're not happy with, and that's fine and fair.
All right, ready for my hot take?
I think the only thing that would make me really upset is if all the non-holo cards are like this.
Well, if the whole card run is wrong,
That's going to be an issue. And if that happens, what I would like to see them do to is just send all backers a play set of the card that's right.
Do not do that.
Why?
Because have a trade-in thing.
Why? What's the difference between that and what I just said?
They have 10 million backers.
They have 6,000 backers
in 50 billion places. Like, that's a lot. Like, don't do that. Just do a trade-in thing if you're going to do it.
So yeah, okay.
Trade it in at your LGS that carries sorcery.
That's great. Yeah, use the innkeepers. That's cool.
Yeah, use all 30 of those. And also, you could probably use the other ones.
I'm pretty sure there was like 75 innkeepers.
Okay, I apologize. 75 stores nationwide can take your trade in. I apologize, Louis.
How much dust do you get on the trade in?
Plus a little extra. 1.5%.
That's more than any other TCG Kickstarter TCG had.
That is true. That is true.
Okay.
Like,
this is
that
fun.
might not be true, actually. That might not be true, actually.
Definitely true. Back on the game. A lot of the other indie TCGs had like 63 backers total.
Till Lorcana dropped.
I know, because I was one of them.
Shout out to Polywog. God, it is a Dead TCG podcast, baby. We're in. Oh my God, we should do a What's Dead or Polywog or Genesis.
Well, one is got a letter that declares it dead.
For the 3 viewers who care about that.
The other is Polywog.
There is those Polywog viewers.
We know that.
I don't think this matters one bit.
Yeah.
Now, like, I will put a caveat on this. If a bunch of hollows, not a bunch of this hollow, I think a lot of this hollow will be wrong. But if a bunch of hollows are wrong, that will not be a good look.
I agree.
That would be pretty devastating and maybe not so hot for the game.
I don't know enough about the printing process. Is it more likely that all of this hollow is messed up? That's what I'm leaning towards. That's just what logic says to me. Right?
It just got transferred wrong on the print sheet.
Yeah, the asset was just
made in China, because I would suspect it would not be digital, but it might be digital printing there. It might be print. I don't know if it's digital print plates.
Now, there was an argument about sorcery on this podcast where George suggested somebody be in China QAing the product as it came off the line.
And George got yelled at for that, I think.
I think he did.
But didn't they send somebody to China to QA on?
No? They didn't do a very good job.
Listen. So the question is how isolated this is.
I like how that was so matter of fact by Josh.
The question is how isolated is this?
Matter of fact.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, that's Louis. That's a fair point.
Like, if this is just this card, I'm trying to pop up the card because I want to know what rarity the card is.
I'm just operating on our assumption that everyone is incorrect. Now, maybe you can't QA the foils because they're so rare.
Right. That's what my point was going to be. Like, how many boxes do you have to open to get to this one card?
Like, listen, dude, if you're going to make something rare, you're still responsible for QAing it. Like,
yeah. I just said this is not a big deal, but that's a terrible argument.
It is a unique. I just found it. So it's a unique card that the foil's wrong. So I think it's like a 300 run of the card. Like there are 300 of the foil.
So it's confirmed that all the foils are incorrect.
No, that's not confirmed.
Okay.
I'm saying it's confirmed that this is a unique. So in order, if even if it is all 300, in order to do that, you would have to open up a metric ton of boxes to find this one foil that is wrong.
Well,
400 card
that's
set.
Not how QA works.
But also
they're printed, and then okay, this card is good or not good.
I see what you're saying.
I'm also not going to give you sympathy if you decide to break the mold. Then you have to change the traditional processes somehow and make sure that QA still gets done. If we invent some interesting software and we have to change the QA process, we don't get a pass when we push it out and it's all completely broken. We need to refine that process and fix it to accommodate for what we've done.
Yeah, my point is, if this is one unique card, they miss the QA of on just the foil sheet. That is a much more understandable issue than all the foils are wrong, or all of this card that is a unique and is in one in every 4 boxes.
Are unique also a non-foil?
Yeah, but we haven't seen a unique non-foil of this card yet.
If all the foils of this card are wrong, my stance is that's not great. You need to figure that out. But which I think is probably the most likely scenario.
What does that mean?
Right.
What does that mean? We have to figure that out.
It can't happen again. We have this conversation in the MetaZoo section, what feels like weekly. You had a problem. It came out during the release. It's now on you to make sure that problem does not occur again. You have to refine your process. Right.
But like, what's to say that they're not doing? They already said that this is a mistake. They're not happy with it. What else do you want them to do about it?
But I'm just. First of all, we're talking about the game. I'm talking about in the future. There's a process they have to change, and also
Pokemon 2.0.
We got to try to make it not happen again. Like,
well, I'm sorry. We've talked about indie TCGs that claim they're going to try to make things happen. It's just always something else. It also means that this is a knock against this release.
All right, so Josh,
it's something that went wrong during this release.
Question. You did not comment enough on the card quality and on the origami quantity, so I'm kind of mad at you about that. I will yell at you on the phone later about that.
If I open a foil one, I will bend it. I promise you.
Here's my point with arguing about that. If this is the only thing that's wrong with the alpha print, I will be surprised.
Well, we know it's not, because there's already some symbols that we saw that were wrong in the pre-con kits that were opened.
Right. Like, that's my point. Like, if this is the only thing, I will be surprised. Like, this doesn't seem like if it is just the Immortal Throne, just the hollows, this doesn't seem like a major thing that's like, oh my gosh, sorcery can't print cards. It's a mistake that happened, and I'm sure they'll get it fixed. That's my point.
Okay, wait. So there's a lot in that statement. I just said I don't think this is a big deal, and I don't think it's a big deal. I think it's a deal. I don't think it's a big deal, though, to be candid.
As long as it's only the one card.
Yeah, it goes on the score sheet. It doesn't lose the game, but it goes on the score sheet.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, like, you're assuming it gets fixed, Louie, and I think they're going to try to fix it, but it's hard. And the other thing I would say, like, and this has been my point the whole time, is like this is why you should not oversell your game. Calling it a high-end boutique card game is silly when you're a Kickstarter card game printed in China.
Sure. Like,
you set yourself up for a standard that you can't possibly hit on your first box you ever print. It's an unfair standard that you yourself have set.
That's fair.
So, like, at the end of the day, like, I think like this is the issue with their marketing, is they set such a ridiculously high barrier to success for themselves that there was no way they were going to hit it. And I think that was a misstep. I've said this the whole time.
Well, there's also an aspect.
Does this scream high-end boutique to you? It doesn't scream high-end boutique to me.
Like, I think like you can have a high-end boutique thing, and there's mistakes in high-end boutique things all the time. Give me something else that's high-end boutique. Is a Rolex high-end boutique? Is that? And like,
you see almost no errors in Rolexes.
Right, this is almost no errors. This is 300 cards of a 29,000 box print run.
Louis, but if every single one of that card is an error, if it is,
all the value comes from the foils, right? That's been the whole thing. Is that the whole point of this is like the foils are rare, the foils are amazing, all the money's in the foils, and that's the more important metric is the foil.
But this foil will arguably be worth more money.
And there it is, folks. What did I say? What did I say? We wouldn't get to the argument of.
No. You brought in the money side. You brought up the value side. You said you were essentially saying that this card would be worth less value.
I did not say that. I did not say that.
That's what you were implying.
No, that's not at all what I was implying.
Stop it. That's what you were implying.
I literally said this card would be worth more, I think. But I don't think that matters. Like, the point is, like, when you set yourself up for a high barrier of success and you don't hit it, that's a problem.
300
Like, this is why I didn't like the marketing from the very beginning.
My argument,
the marketing was a mistake from the very beginning. It's a Kickstarter card game, and that's fine. I think it's a good Kickstarter card game. I've enjoyed playing it. I've said so. I ate my cold chicken.
Not including the
that's my text.
Not including the pre-cons, there are 17 million cards printed for sorcery. If 300 of them are wrong,
but we know that's not the case because we've already seen other errors, Louis. Like, you keep I guess that's true, but it's also completely irrelevant. We've seen wrong symbols in pre-cons. Like, we've seen other mistakes, and that's fine. Like, that's been my point. And also, like, Louis, like, you yourself have touted the genius is that the foils are rare, and the foils are special, and the foils are amazing, and they're super amazing, they're special, and they're incredible, and it's like going back to old Magic.
Right.
Like, Louis, like, then you have to, like, then there's not 17 million foils.
Right, but your argument though is this is still just as rare. Arguably, this makes this even more rare if it's just one of the cards. That's the point. If it's
so you think this is good for the game? There's errors.
No, I don't think it's good for the
okay.
game.
Okay. So then, so what are you arguing?
That it's not a boutique card game that they shouldn't have marketed.
There's 17 million cards. It's not a boutique card game. I'm sorry. Like a boutique card game with 17 million cards.
We can agree that you don't like the argument. The argument isn't that it's the number of cards. The argument is that they hand paint the art, that it's attention to detail, and that they care
attention to
about
detail. Attention to detail.
Shouldn't have said that one.
Oh my gosh. 300 cards wrong of 17 million.
But we already know. Okay, we already know.
I'll make it a percentage. What I have to make it, I have to multiply it by 100, make it a percent.
But we also know
it's 0.0017% of the cards.
The errors, Louis. Like you can keep saying those numbers you want, but we also those aren't the only errors.
I think there's a bigger issue we're sweeping under the rug, and it kind of leans into the boutique card game aspect, and it's why this happened. Because Louis, you alluded earlier that this is probably a simple fix and they'll get it done. But it just in my experience professionally, if it's a simple fix, then the reason it happened in the first place was lack of care, some kind of negligence, right? And on your first run, that's not great. Now, I would hope that it's actually a more complicated fix, because that means, like you said, we have to refine our QA process because our foils are so few and far between. We can't rely on printing a box, opening 50 of them, and seeing how that works. So I think the deeper kind of discussion here is, why did it happen, right? Rather than the theoretical value of the card, why it happened matters more than the theoretical value or the number of cards that are messed up, right? Because if it's a lack of care, if it's we just didn't put someone there because we didn't want to, or we didn't think about it, something like that, then that's a bigger problem. If it's easy to fix, I think it's a big negative. I
think that's fair. I think my I guess the argument I'm trying to make to you guys is, if you thought that this was going to be a 100% perfect print run and that was the expectation, I think that that's an unfair expectation for any card game. We saw, what did we just see happen with Magic? 2 sets ago, they printed a card with the wrong power and toughness on it. That's the number one card game, according to George, the number one card game in the world. It's really the number 2 card game in the world. But I'm sure Pokemon's
the number one card game in the world. That part's not up for dispute.
I'm sure Pokemon's made some mistakes too recently.
Never. They're goat, Louis. Louis, they're goat. They're goat. Please don't insult Pokemon in front of me. I will yell at you very loudly.
So my point is, if you thought it was going to be 100%, I think that's just because they call it a boutique game, I think that's ridiculous. And I would say my point is, this is not going to be the only mistake. And if this is the only mistake, then they got pretty damn close to 100%.
But it's different. That statement as a whole isn't incorrect. I don't disagree with that. Where I think there's some nuance that needs to be added is the fact that it does happen to be a foil. This is not like Magic getting the power and toughness on a card wrong. This is every one of a serialized card is incorrect because there's only 500 of them, right? If that happens, that's the real discussion.
Your video on that, Louis, would be epic. And then you would burn Chris Cox's house to the ground if you did that, and you would have the video of you doing this is why Magic sucks and it's all going to zero. Magic 30th.
It's one of the cards we've coveted as a chase is messed up.
Yeah, I can't imagine getting your serialized cards wrong. That'd be really bad. That'd be the worst, right, George?
It would be.
Yeah.
It has not happened to any of these games yet.
It's an 8.
Having MetaZoo with the NFT release.
It did not.
No, it did not. It's an 8. It's an 8.
This is why you can't read, and I can't help
That's
you.
Ridiculous.
It's an 8. Oh, I was told it was an 8. I don't have to read it anymore.
An 8.
I don't have to read it anymore. It's an 8.
Anything else? I'm excited to open boxes. I'm going to open until I get the misprint Immortal Throne so I can celebrate.
It won't be a misprint. It'll be fine.
It's printed as intended. Ship it.
All right. Last conversation. Oh, not second to last conversation. The rarest Pikachu. You guys are so excited. I know. I can see it on their faces. They're excited to talk about Pokemon.
I'm going to go pack for my vacation. Let me know when we're done.
So I'm going to talk about this guy. This is the second video. Last year they did a video. This is a Pokemon Snap promo that was only available in China at the release of Pokemon Snap. And there was like none of them. And last year, this guy Pro Retro X George, he's got a Bored Ape as his profile, so I'm pretty sure it's all NFT. This is our NFT podcast. Look at him. You can see his eyes. He's getting interested. He heard NFT and he's interested. Anyway, this guy travels to Japan to pick up the Magikarp, which is the first apparently there was only one that was known in existence, and now this year, a year later, he just traveled to Tokyo to get the Pikachu, which there was only one of known in existence. And so this whole documentary on it. Anyway, $270,000 for a one-of-one Pikachu. I thought that was pretty applicable to our one-on-one discussion for Magic.
Is Pikachu the most popular Pokemon?
Sure. Probably not, but sure. Maybe Charizard.
It's weird that the bigger TCGs, one of one in the most popular card possible, is selling for much less than a random one of one in the not as popular card game that uses actually an outside IP. It's not even like for the fans of the card game, and that's $1 million. Like, wow, that's wow.
Yeah,
Pokemon card
it's also there's like more than a couple of 1/1s in Pokemon. So I thought it was really interesting. This guy, his name's Dubsy, is the guy who's buying these. And at the end of the video, and there's only like 3,000 views on this video. It's a really small YouTube creator. At the end of the video, this is what I want to talk about because I think it's going to pop up this year. He says that Dubsy has the largest Pokemon collection in the world, and he basically insults the rest of the Pokemon collections. He's like, I've seen it. No other Pokemon collection compares to this. So I personally am Team King Pokemon. I don't know about you guys, but this Dubsy guy, I don't think has anything on King Pokemon. And so
I'd like us to put a bounty
in the discussion.
I'd like us to put a bounty on that Pikachu.
On that Pikachu? We're going to pry it out of his hands for how much?
Yeah, the meme bounty that we were going to put on the One Ring that was never going to get accepted could almost buy that card. Let's shoot for the stars. If you fall, you land on a cloud.
He just paid $270. Why would he pay more? And like they had to travel to Japan and find it in a card shop. It's like really hard. It was really hard to track down. It was really interesting. How they
know what the video says? Because that's got to be dramatized, right? You got a $270,000 card. Someone's got to know where it is.
No, because this is the point. All of these cards basically just got brought into these little small LGSs in Japan 20 years ago. And so they've just had them in the back, like secretly. And like nobody really knows how many of them actually exist. Like in this video, he's like, yeah, this is the only one we know of in the world, but that's until another one pops up. And it's crazy.
Pokemon contracted WotC to print these, and there's 100,000 of them.
No, because I think there was 15
cards.
I think there was 15 redemptions in the. I don't know exactly how it worked, but there's like 15 possible of each of them. And like the Magikarp they bought a year ago, they haven't found. Like nobody's turned up anymore. So these are just like in these Japan card shops. It's really. I thought it was super interesting. So. Apparently, George doesn't want to talk about it at all. Because
I just hope they're printed by Chris Cox, and he's like, I don't know how to short print things. Here's 100,000 Pikachus.
Right. I'm gonna find someone to make a Pokemon podcast with me. It'll be great. All right, moving on. Arby's, they've got the MetaZoos.
Yeah, so like we saw the ad with Arby's put up the ad of the peeps playing MetaZoo over the meats.
With their greasy hands. I cringed when I saw that photo.
Why? You know what? Screw you guys. I am fine with that.
Who's going to go play non-sleeved while eating Arby's?
People who sleeve their cards.
Everybody. You were talking to every listener of this podcast.
Also, it was an ad. They were playing MetaZoo. It was an ad, guys. Calm down.
I like the ad. That was great.
Definitely good marketing for MetaZoo. Like I can see where that would be. It had tons of views.
Like, and this is where like MetaZoo is like totally wild. Like,
yeah,
Channel Firebolt is dumping Nightfall at like basically rock bottom, and like Mike is like, okay, I'm just gonna keep building the company. Like, you idiots have fun with your boxes. I'm going to keep building the company and signing crazy partnerships and growing the brand. and like his belief is that it will all work out in the end, and he's right or wrong.
Yeah.
I think he's right. But like he's signing these crazy partnerships, and like good for him.
Yeah.
I've been all in on MetaZoo for the week because that guy at Cardboard and Coffee sent me my NFT card. He just reached out to me on Discord. He said, I pulled this NFT card. It says you own this NFT, which I didn't know I owned. And then he shipped it to me. He just said, I'm sending you this. It's yours. And now it's in a case. I'm going to put it on my shelf. So shout out Cardboard and Coffee because that's super cool of him.
Does he have a YouTube channel?
He does. I shout out
go
Cardboard and Coffee.
To Cardboard and Coffee. Also,
like, listen, if you like real MetaZoo content, that's a guy.
I have a note for Cardboard and Coffee because I was on the receiving end of a text message from Josh that was like, what the heck is this guy talking about?
I had no idea. I also have apparently got this NFT without buying it because I bought a coin at your advisory, Louis, and then I apparently have.
At one point, you could have like 4x your money on that coin.
How's it doing right now?
I don't know, but
you could not 4x your money on anymore.
I still have all 10 of mine. So.
Do you want to 4x my money and own 11?
Nope. I have a full set. That's all I need.
No, I thought that was super cool of him. He just reached out. I tried to offer to pay him for shipping. He wouldn't even let me do that. He just shipped it to me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, cool. Yeah, I think the Arby's thing's cool. I think it'll be really interesting to see. I was actually kind of shocked that the advertisement didn't have. It was just UFO and seance cards. I thought it would have like the reveal of what the Arby's promo would be.
No way, baby. That's next week.
You think?
Yeah, trickle it out.
So you're saying even Arby's can't get native?
All right. I want toys. I want toys. I want.
Yeah, I want metas. I don't want promos. I just want toys.
I want all. I want both.
Yeah, I don't want promos. I just want toys.
You don't want the promos? Yes, I'm
on a big promo kick in games right now. I want.
Are
promos.
you really?
Hey, like, you're the guy that like a week ago was like, MetaZoo shouldn't print any more promos. They need to focus on the regular release stuff. And now you want promos. We don't hold everybody on the podcast accountable to the wish watch.
Yeah, they're never going to do that. Like, listen, I want them to print one serialized card per number as well, and that's not going to happen. So temper your expectations. I'm completing the player rewards promos from the DCI days. I'm building a whole collection of a playset of all the player rewards promos. Yeah, I'll show you. I'll send you pictures of the binders. It's awesome.
I'm not old enough.
That's actually impressive.
It's from my era when I was like getting into game store magic. It's so cool.
You're gonna get all of the DCI promos.
All of the DCI player rewards promo series, P01 through P11. Yep.
Oh, there's only 11 of them.
Yeah, there's 11 series. There's 77 cards. Oh. The most expensive one is the foil Wasteland. It's like 250 to 300 for the foil ones. So it's not like a crazy collection. There's a lot of 50-cent cards you can build. Well, yeah, and it looks really good in a binder too. It looks super cool.
Will it please you when they reprint those in the list slot with a little mystery booster logo on the bottom left?
I won't care. I'm collecting it because, like I said, I was telling the story. This is when I started playing Magic, like in the game store. Is when people were getting.
Louis will let nobody be happy this week, Josh. So just tell him you'll be unhappy. I bought nobody is happy this week.
I
bought near mint damnations, and they came in the original seals.
Yeah,
like they came in little bags, and the person shipped them to me like that. I was like, oh my god, these things have never breathed air.
Those things were sweet when you sent those. That artwork is so cool.
It's so the Wrath of God, and even the Day of Judgment's only like $4, and it's a beautiful card. It's cool.
I agree with you that those are dumb. Well, the problem is they probably printed a ton of them, but I still agree with you that those are cheap. Those are the textless ones, right?
Yep. Except the P05 and P06 have Psychotog and Hypnotic Spectre in foil with text, and every other promo in the series is textless. Those two have text, and every other promo in their respective series are text. It's super weird.
Yeah. Some guy messed up on the print sheet, probably.
But Psychotog, man. Psychotog was cool. Upheaval Psychotog?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I know. It was just a great time.
George feels every time we talk about a card.
You see, now I'm down in a wormhole of great times in Magic the Gathering history. Many Magic the Gathering players ask the question, when will we end this podcast?
All right, let's end it. All right, everyone, make sure to go subscribe to Josh's channel. Hit the subscribe button and the like button over here.
For that. This will not. I will call it, Josh. You will not see a large uptick this week.
That's
And go
George.
subscribe.
You could call that any week on my
You
channel.
can subscribe to George's. Oh, he doesn't have one YouTube channel. Oh,
Future Lorcana channel.
They don't let George. They deleted George's YouTube channel.
You can find him at George Kana.
That's a really good name.
All right, everyone, be kind to the people around you, and may the zoo be with you.
Oh, man.
And also with you.
People around you.